Hello, everybody. This is Scott here. Hope everybody's doing well. Um, I am very excited to talk today about something I care a lot about, and that is the beginning of the universe. So, uh, just a quick preview why I think this is important to discuss. I have met a lot of people that base their meaning in life off of their interpretation of how the universe was created. But I actually think that's a big mistake for a couple reasons. And I guess in order to illustrate this, I'm going to make an analogy to a story that was told by Bertrand Russell. I believe it was Bertrand Russell. When he was talking with a woman who was describing her theory of the universe, and her theory was that the Earth was supported by a giant turtle. And this confused him, and he asked, well, what is the turtle standing on? Upon which she replied, another turtle. And he kept asking, what is that turtle standing on? And she kept saying, another turtle, until finally she said, it's turtles all the way down. And obviously, right, so he retold that story kind of as something that was obviously ridiculous. You can't just have turtles all the way down without one of them standing on something. And I actually believe that this is the same problem that explanations for the beginning of the universe share. And we'll get to why I think that's a mistake to base your meaning off the interpretation of how the universe was created. So basically, there are lots of theories as to how the universe was created, right? More or less, in fact, I would say every theory I've ever heard of fits into one of two categories, going all the way back to Plato and Aristotle. Plato's idea was that the universe was formed, that there was some force or being or God who had created everything ex nihilo. Okay. And Aristotle, his student, at first agreed with this, and then later on he was thinking about it and he was like, wait, but if it was all created, then who created the creator? Right? So that's the problem of like what is that turtle standing on? If somebody created the universe, who created them? And so he came to the conclusion that the universe was eternal. And virtually all theories that I've heard fall into one of those two camps, either eternal universe or created universe. And they share fundamentally the same problem, that our reasoning has to do with causality. The things that we observe in the universe, all of those things have a cause, and that's how we use logic. That's how we reason through things, is by understanding their causality. But the first thing to ever happen can't have a cause. And so, I mean, I'll give two examples of different theories of how the universe was formed and why they run into this problem. So you have the theory, traditional Christianity is very Platonic. Okay, they believe that God created the universe out of nothing. But again, they run into this problem of, if God created the universe out of nothing, who created God? It also doesn't fit very well with the concept of a heavenly father, because the whole point of the God who creates the universe out of nothing is that they're an unmoving mover, right? So they don't feel emotions, they don't feel passions. They can't, because they're just basically a force of nature. And Mormonism responded to this by basically adopting Aristotle's idea, an eternal chain, right, of gods. So before God, there was a different God. And before that God, there was a different God. Before that God, there was a different God, all the way down. And to me, this very much sounds like turtles all the way down. That's not really an explanation for how the universe came to be. That doesn't explain why there are gods in the first place, why there are why there is something rather than nothing in the first place, right? And natural sciences have the same dilemma. You have one branch of natural philosophy, which basically contends that the universe is eternal. You have another that right now is very popular because it's predicted by the theories of quantum mechanics, that the universe actually sprang forth out of nothing. So literally there was nothing here. And then the universe came. So there's no cause for the universe. There was no time before the universe. There could be other universes out there, but they bear nothing in relation to our universe because they wouldn't even understand our time, right? So there's no sense in saying that one thing caused another thing because we were created at one time, and our time is only in relation to our universe. Their time is only in relation to their universe. So there will never be it's completely separate timelines for everything. And this is a theory that, like, if somebody asked me how the universe is formed, I would give them this theory because it's predicted by the theories that we use in our everyday lives to predict things. But I recognize that it's not a satisfying answer to how the universe formed. There's no reason it just kind of sprang out of nowhere, right? It doesn't sound great. And so that's why I say, like, we should never, our sense of meaning and purpose comes from our lives right now. Trying to understand how the universe came to be can be an interesting intellectual task. And maybe someday we will have a fair degree of certainty as to how it came about. But I would argue that's not the case right now. And that furthermore, because our concept of causality, our entire logic is based on one thing causing another thing, that any story as to how the universe was formed or why it's here without cause won't be satisfying to us. So rather than go down that rabbit hole, I'd rather simply focus on life as it is, on the things that I know will affect me, and the things that I know that I can affect. And that's my chat today. Hope you all have a great week, and I'll see you next time.